Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially here. I have a very interesting video that it is that I am going to be speaking about. And I think that this is very important to know a lot about. So, welcome in Universal Mastery. I'm glad to have you here. What we're going to be discussing in this today's video is we are going to be speaking about how demons can actually trick you and sometimes do things that maybe are not completely in alignment with who you actually are. But what I'm going to be speaking about when it comes to the subject is why this actually happens and what it's actually rooted in so that you can have more perspective so that you don't have to fall down this path of working with demonic energies or working with demons if you're getting into spirituality and you're getting into occultism, and then once again fall down that path without actually understanding what's truly going on. So I'm going to be really discussing the nature of how these demons function, in many ways what their role is in the collective consciousness and how we evolve as human beings with these different energies as a part of this evolutionary process. So, with that being said, if you want to understand more about demonic energy so that you don't necessarily get tricked by these different entities and tricked by these demons because you have a misunderstanding of what's actually happening, this is definitely going to be the video for you. So, I simply would recommend staying tuned, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, so let me first start with giving a little bit of an introduction of who I am, just in case you don't know me. Okay, my name is Jeremiah Schwartz. I am a professional occultist. I am fully initiated in the entirety of the Kabbalistic tree. I'm studied when it comes to the 22 major arcana of the tarot deck, studied when it comes to planetary energies in association with astrology, and I'm also aware of trauma and its relationship to the nervous system. Okay. Lots of stuff that I am aware of and lots of personal, practices that I implement along the lines of self development. So, as I'm speaking about these specific entities that are demons, I am going to be speaking about this absolutely from a lens that is very valuable and very important to understand. And as I said, I am someone who has experience, a lot of experience working with these different energies and understanding some of these internal mechanisms and processes that also happen within the body in relationship with demonic energy itself. Okay, so the first thing that I want to start with saying to create a context for this video is that what I'm not saying is that demons are bad or that demons are evil and their primary motive is to trick you or to mislead you. That is actually quite the opposite of what these energies are really here doing and what they're trying to show us and what they're trying to teach us. But there absolutely is a component, specifically when it comes to demonic energy, where there is a destructive component, there is a dissolving component, and there is an adversarial catalytic component. Meaning, when it comes to, let's say, hypothetically, higher density energies or entities or intelligences that are existing within our solar system and within our galaxy, the beings that are going to bring certain degrees of healthy catalyst, healthy adversary to planets like Earth, these are largely going to be the demonic beings, the beings that are more so in resonance with the negative polarity that are going to usher in these energies and these shifts in that type of way because there is a balancing component that is at play with this whole process. So when it comes to the angelic realm and when it comes to the demonic realm, there is much nuance between these different energies. And there's also some pretty significant differences, if you will. So, once again, when it comes to the more demonic aspect of things, there is absolutely going to be a catalyst, sort of adversarial component that comes into play with this. Now, with that understanding, this is important to really know so that when you're getting into your practice and when you're starting to do these different types of, let's say, rituals or different types of invocations or whatever it is that you're doing with these different demonic energies, you want to make sure that you are understanding what it is that you're working with. And you want to understand what these energies oftentimes can do within your own body as you're working with them. So, what happens a lot of the times is people work with these different energies and they're working with these energies oftentimes coming from a space where they don't actually understand what they're doing in the sense of they're not necessarily working with these energies from a lens of soul development or from a lens of understanding, what is the authentic self and really going through a healing process. I think that's one of the biggest misunderstandings when it comes to uh especially the darker aspects of soul development is that it's designed to heal you. It's designed to literally heal your soul in a very significant intense way. Now a lot of people don't know that, so what happens is they're working with these demons or this demonic energy coming more so from a space of trying to manifest certain things or trying to have more control in certain areas of life and trying to, in many ways, fuel and inflate certain aspects and parts of themselves that aren't even the whole them, right? Like fueling up certain fragmentations within the psyche that can oftentimes give a false sense of security because it may be a part of you that you're attached to. Now, what's, important to understand about this is that when it comes to demons or when it comes to demonic energy, there is absolutely a component to this energy where it will allow you or it will show you these different aspects of yourself that you are unconscious of. So, what I mean by this is that, let's say, for example, you're working with demonic energy and you're working with it from a space of trying to, let's say, manifest more money into your life, and you want to do like a ritual or you want to do a spell or whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Your main intention and your main goal is you want more money. So now you're working with this energy and you're trying to do whatever it is that you know how to do to manifest that money. There you go. That's a wonderful thing. But the reality is that working with this energy to manifest money can absolutely happen. And in many ways, depending on like what your intention is, it will happen. But the reality is that there's a reason why you don't even have money in the first place. And it's not something that's going to be so surface level. It's most likely going to be rooted to something in relationship to past traumas and repressed emotions that are in the nervous system. And not necessarily understanding how to work through those things and process those things in order to get yourself to an energetic state where money just naturally comes to you. So, what I'm saying is that a lot of people work with these energies trying to manifest certain things that they actually don't even really need, and that they're actually kind of in many ways wasting their time trying to manifest because it's actually not important compared to the inner process of what's happening underneath the surface. So, the interesting thing about demonic energy is that this energy, because of its catalyst aspect and its adversarial aspect, what it absolutely can and will do sometimes is allow someone to use that energy. So, for example, if you're doing an invocation of a specific demon that is associated with wealth, which basically means this is some sort of like an astrological energy that is most likely existing within our solar system that has an intelligence to it that you're then communicating with that has an ability to produce finances or has an ability to help you bring money into your life. So if you're working with that energy to manifest money because you need money to, let's say, pay your bills, or you just feel like you need money to buy certain things, which I'm sure to some degree everyone feels that way, that energy can support you in that process. And it oftentimes will support you in that process as long as you're going through the general steps to allow this to manifest. But at the same end of that token, as I said, a lot of people are utilizing that energy to manifest that specific thing that is actually not what they're really needing or really supposed to be spending time and energy on manifesting. So rather than manifesting, let's say, money for your rent, if you're in a position where you have to, let's say, pay your rent and you're falling a little bit behind, rather than having to work with a demonic energy to manifest that, like what's the deeper component as to why you're even in a situation where you don't even have the money for your rent in the first place? Like, what are the deeper rooted repressed things that are taking place in your system that got you to that position in the first place? Because when you start really addressing that and you start diving into that and being with that and healing that, then you're naturally going to find yourself in circumstances where those types of things don't necessarily happen. But as I'm saying, demons can oftentimes support the process of you thinking that what you're doing is what you actually want. And there's a catalytic effect to this where you can work with that energy, manifest what you think you want, and actually have it, come to some form of fruition. But through that, you're actually realizing there's still an emptiness or there's still a void that is inside of your system that is not necessarily being fulfilled. And you almost can find yourself in a loop or in a cycle with that specific energy, not getting anywhere because you're not understanding that it's an internal process and there's something much deeper at play. So, you know, these demonic energies can absolutely support you to manifest that thing over and over and over again, while at the same time showing you that it's not satisfying what you're actually looking for. And you're actually, that void that's inside of you is only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then at some point, what often is going to happen working with these energies is it's going to, in a pretty significant way, show you that you are never going to be able to get to that space that you think you want to get if you're approaching this from a space of inauthenticity, if you're approaching it from that perspective of looking outside of yourself and not looking inwards. So, once again, what does that entity do, or what does the demonic energy do? It brings the awareness back to the self and it forces those things that were buried in the unconscious to come to the surface. And this is, where this is a very healing thing. And this is a very important aspect of demonic energy. And it's important that you know that it's designed to do this so that you don't get caught up in the cycle of using the demonic energy to manifest things that are only fueling your false self and that are only fueling parts of you that are not the whole you, that are actually keeping you kind of stuck in a certain state. So, once again, when you are going down that path where you're doing it from an inauthentic space, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a part of the process, I think. I think everyone to some extent is going to experience it. I know for a fact that that is something I have absolutely experienced and it's not comfortable, but when you don't understand, what these energies are actually here doing, and you're trying to manifest that thing, and then when you realize you're never getting satisfied trying to manifest that thing, whatever that thing is for you outside of yourself, the energy does come back to you. As I said, that it's that demonic magnetizing energy that forces you to see what you are unconscious of. And that oftentimes is what can rip people apart. And that can leave people in a space where they have no idea what's actually going on. And they feel like they made a mistake and they feel like they can't go back and they feel like everything's coming crashing down. And it's just, there's a huge lack of understanding with what the energy was actually trying to do from the very start. And in some ways, it's like the person can almost get fooled thinking that they were on the right path, thinking that they were getting more control, thinking that everything was going to work the way they thought it was, when in reality, it was only going to lead them to a state of disillusion and a state of needing to let go and needing to surrender and realize the deeper rooted components that are actually taking place within the body at a nervous system level in relationship with trauma. So, this is really sometimes how these demonic energies can be perceived as tricking you, when in reality, they're not tricking you. It's only you tricking yourself. And is there anything wrong with this? Once again, there's nothing wrong with this. It is a natural part of the process for people to learn what is actually important when it comes to the soul's development. But this is absolutely something that does take place, and it can seem like demons are tricking you. So, this is a problem in the spiritual community because people, in some respects, are not taking responsibility for their inability to do their own inner work, and then they're trying to scapegoat these energies, these entities, as if it is their fault for them not being able to fill that void, and then things kind of coming to a halt in their life and being brought to the self. Remember what I said, there's a lot of like ego death that can take place. There's a lot of disillusion that can take place when this is occurring. But you can't sit there and you can't say that the demons are tricking me, or this spirit is a trickster spirit, or this and that and this and that. They are designed to show you what you are unaware of within yourself. And if you're approaching it with an assumption, especially if that assumption is outside of yourself, you're only going to be shown within a matter of time that it's related back to you, and it is something that's been inside of you, like once again, stored energetically at a nervous system level. And you are going to have to face the emotion of that. You're going to have to embrace the emotion of that as well as the sensation in order to properly heal and in order to properly integrate what was being repressed, so that then you can actually start living the life that you truly want to live and feel good about it. So it has nothing to do with the demon, has nothing to do with the demonic energy trying to trick you. And whatever people say these days in regards to like the demons are trying to trick me and they're trying to take my soul. It has nothing to do with that. It is that these entities are doing what they're designed to do, and they will lead you down the path that you think you want to walk. When someone sells their soul to the devil, that is the person making a decision to not follow their authentic self. And these demonic energies will allow someone to do that, and they will support someone on that path of inauthenticity just to show you how much of a void there actually is within that path, and how much of a unsatisfaction there truly is at a core level. And then it will break you down. If you're someone that takes responsibility and does the self reflection, it will then break you down completely, so that you are then able to see what you were really doing and why you were doing it, so that then you can course correct and you can ground everything back into an authentic expression. So you can really start to once again know who you truly are. So you can feel more connected to, as I said, your authentic self. And, when that happens, life starts to change in so many different significant ways that are beautiful and so valuable. And it is quite shocking when you start to experience life from that state if you haven't been there in a very long time. But that is literally what these energies, these demonic energies, are designed to do. They are designed to dissolve you as you're in alignment with that path of authenticity. They will support you with the inauthentic path. There's a reason why demonic energy needs to exist on our planet. There is a reason why there needs to be a positive charge and a negative charge. Just like there are people like me that are teaching the principles of what it means to be authentic and to heal from trauma and to understand all of this in relationship to occultism, there needs to be people that teach this type of stuff too in an inverted way. And the reason for that is because it's creating a contrast. Just like as a collective consciousness, we are moving into an age where the inner child, as the planet's evolving, the inner child within the collective consciousness is starting to come to the surface. Now, simultaneously, as the inner child is starting to come to the surface, at the same time, artificial intelligence is also coming to the surface. That is literally the two contrasts of a similar thing that is manifesting itself on our planet for this next stage of evolution. So, with that being said, that is why these demonic energies can sometimes seem like they trick people when in reality, they're not doing that. It's the person making the decision themselves to go down that path. And when people choose to go down that inauthentic path, there actually is a time and a place for that. But even though there's a time and a place for that, there is still karma that's involved with that. So the person doing that is going to have to pay off karma, and that is not going to be easy. And inherently, that path is a dissatisfying, or maybe I should say, an unsatisfying path to walk because your soul will never be satisfied because you're always aligned with the inauthentic self. And you're going to continue feeding that through energy, through your everyday communications, through your everyday living, through your rituals, if you're getting involved with occultism. And it is only going to show you that you will never be satisfied and that void will always continue to grow. And if you end up making that decision, that then you're willing to start understanding what's actually happening and connect with your authentic self, you are going to have to go through a significant death process and a significant dissolution to kind of undo a lot of those patterns and undo a lot of that wiring and actually get to the root cause of why you were aligned with your inauthentic self, right? Because there are root causes connected to this that go back to your ancestorship, but clearly are directly related to your childhood and the different traumas that you've experienced at childhood and even as you've gotten older. So once again, to kind of wrap this video up, that's what I really wanted to say along the lines of um, you know, do demons actually trick you and how demons actually trick you? The overarching answer here is they don't. They only support you based on the path that you're walking. And they're always designed to create balance within this ecosystem of our planet Earth and how we're evolving as, the human species. And the deepest core of demonic energy is a source thing. So it is designed to show people their true nature and their connection to the all, their connection to all things, to the authentic self, to the inner child, to the source. So when someone is walking that path authentically, you are going to be understanding these things and doing some of the deepest self reflection that a person could ever do because dealing with the darker energies of occultism and the Qlippoth, it is exactly that. It is literally the essence of dealing with your trauma, dealing with fragmentation within the psyche, and dealing with your deep unconscious, subconscious mind, the things that you have repressed and not wanted to become aware of because of the severity of some of these emotional traumas. And of course, when you're doing that, when you're doing this work from an authentic space, there's so much healing that takes place and there's a lot of power to gain in that authentic expression. That's actually the most powerful state you can get to. And a lot of people don't really understand that. And a lot of people don't know this. And there's many reasons why this stuff is very misunderstood. And it's not for everyone either. It requires a certain capacity to even go down this path. Okay. But that is the essence of it. So don't let people fool you into thinking that this demon's a trickster and these demons are out here to trick you. And, you know, what's going on with all this stuff. And, how do I know if I'm being tricked or not? It's you. You have to look inwards and you have to recognize what is going on within your body at an emotional, sensational level. What does your foundation look like in your daily life? How much safety do you have in your life to allow yourself to start healing some of these deeper rooted things so you can start living the way that you truly want to live? That's what actually matters. Then when you implement the whole demonic side of things, the rituals, the initiations, etc., it is only going to support that process. And it's going to be using these different energies that are reflecting literally in our solar system and in our galaxy. It is going to channel a lot of these astrological energies for your development process. And that in itself is not easy and it makes things really intense. But for those of you that are really in alignment with that and willing to experience that, there's so much room for development, like huge amounts of development. Okay. So, with that being said, this is going to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you got value from this, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Okay. Drop down in the comments section and let me know exactly what you gained from this. Let me know if there was anything that you learned and also just share your thoughts. I would love to hear what your own perspective is on this topic right here. Okay. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you're getting notified whenever I'm posting this content. You do not want to miss out. This is very valuable information that I promise you want to have. Okay. And I'm continuously posting this content every other day and I just happen to release videos that are like exactly what people are needing to hear exactly when I release them. So definitely take advantage of it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because by subscribing, you are further energetically connecting to everything it is that I'm teaching. So if you want to, connect a little bit deeper in that way, definitely consider subscribing. Now, also, if you have any friends or family or social media platforms that you feel like would gain value from this content, I encourage you to copy and paste the link and send it to those people. Okay, copy and paste. If someone just came to your mind right when I said that, send it to that person. Okay, let's spread this content like a wildfire so that more people can actually understand what's important to know about these specific subjects. Okay, now I'm going to take your awareness to literally the most important link within the entire YouTube description itself. This is the Patreon. Okay. On the Patreon, you are going to gain access to exclusive content, over 260 videos that are exclusive only to the Patreon members, that goes into so much depth with occult knowledge, occult breakdowns, ritualistic practices that I'm performing on camera and that I'm also teaching you how to do. Okay. Nervous system regulation, more understanding on how trauma functions and how it relates to the development process, the initiatory process, education on Kabbalah, all of these different valuable subjects I have ordered and broken down into different genres, which are called collections that you can click on and you can personally study from. Okay, there's over 750 active members that are a part of the Patreon, and it's only continuing to grow. So if you want to take advantage of it, definitely look into it. If you're someone that's binge watching my YouTube channel and you're not yet a part of the Patreon, you have to get over to the Patreon. Okay, that's a must. Now, I want to say this: tier number 3 and tier number 4 of the Patreon is extremely unique. This is a ritualistic service that I offer for my collective consciousness, and it is the only ritualistic service that I personally perform. This is called the Universe B Vampire Ritual. Now, this is a specific ritual. One, let me first start with saying this: this is not meant for everyone. This is meant for people that are really willing to do some of that deeper emotional processing and integration within themselves. And it's also meant for people that are a little bit more in alignment with some of these darker aspects of spiritual self development. Now, if that's you, then this is definitely for you. But overall, it is an energetic transfer from me to you. So, based on all the different occult processes and initiations that I've personally been through, I have a lot of different experience that's carried within my nervous system and within my energy field. And through ritual, I can literally transfer that to you, and it can support you through your development process, working with some of these deeper repressed emotions within your nervous system and some of those deeper portions of your own unconscious and subconscious mind. Okay. Now, also within this ritual, there is a component where I'm causing a shift to your energy field to spin more so in a counterclockwise direction, which actually puts you in resonance with the black hole that exists within our galaxy. This is where that vampiric component comes into play, where there's an extremely powerful magnetism that starts to occur. Now, first and foremost, what this does with the self is it actually expedites the surfacing of repressed negative emotions within the body to then be processed and integrated. And then as that process is taking place, then you start to have more so of an effect where you are pulling this energy from the environment around you when it comes to dark matter energy or when it comes to chaos. And you are then able to integrate it and process it in a much more effective way compared to before. Now, what you can do with this as you're starting to refine this ability is you can actually start to pull out the inauthentic self from another person, turn it into your own potential, while simultaneously kind of leaving that person in a position where now their own repressed emotions are starting to surface through their body and through their nervous system, and they're going to have to go through their own healing process. So, in many ways, it actually becomes a win win dynamic or a win win situation there. And there is as you're doing this with the proper intentions, and as you're going through this, there is good karma that actually can come from that when you're doing this, because there's a lot of people that actually need this aspect of themselves to be dissolved in many ways. And when people have this vampiric energy field and are doing it from a healthy space, in many ways, we are cleaning the planet of artificial energies or energies that are not necessarily completely authentic to other people or other things. And there is once again a good karma that can actually come from that. Okay. So this is what it is. At this point in time, there are 300 active members that are continuously taking place in this ritualistic service every single month. The ritual is performed on the 29th of every single month. The deadline to sign up is the 28th. Okay. Now, the last thing, everyone that's a part of the ritual is also getting entered into an Atlantean crystal grid, which is a crystal matrix that I've personally designed myself, which which is built to support the development process with everything that we just talked about, with surfacing these repressed emotions and integrating them into the authentic self. So there's an energetic grid that I have here that supports that whole process. And every member that takes place in this ritual gets their intimate information placed inside of this grid to help support them once again through their process. Okay. So if you're interested in it, definitely look into this. This is all within the first link in the YouTube description. It's at the very top. You can't miss it. I'll leave it there. Okay. Now, in the second link below, this is where you can book either a one on one call with me, or this is where you can book mentorships with me. So, the mentorships are literally the most intimate way to personally work with me. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on your foundation. We're going to be creating safety so that we can get you to a position where you start regulating your nervous system. And then we're going to simultaneously be going into healing some of these deeper repressed emotions that are connected to your traumas. Now, as that process is happening, as we go through it, if you're someone that's interested into more of the occult aspects of things, we can also start shifting once the foundation is in place into the occult initiatory aspects of things as well. and I do have my own process for that. Okay. So if you're interested in any of that, it is the second link below. Definitely look into it. Now, also in that same second link, you have an option to book a tarot card reading with Alexia. Now, she is a very gifted tarot card reader, and she can pinpoint what's happening in your present moment on a self development level, but also a physical level to help you better understand what you're going through and then what to expect moving into your near future. Okay. She can connect all these different things back to the Kabbalistic tree as well to help give you a deeper perspective on what some of these spheres and potential archetypes that you might be accessing in relationship to the tree of life. So it's a very in depth, a very valuable reading. She's done my personal reading several times and it was spot on. And that is the reason why I have her doing these readings for my channel. She's done a bunch of readings already. She's just continuously getting booked with other people and getting a lot of good feedback. So if this is something that you want to take advantage of, it's also in that same second link below. We'll leave it there. Now, in the third link below, this is what's called the Lucifer's Foundation course. Now, this is a specific course that is going to give you step by step instructions on how to build a healthy relationship with the energy that is known as Lucifer. So, if you want to have step by step instructions with 11 different modules that you are going to have access to for the rest of your life, this is exactly what I would recommend for you. And there is, once again, tons of valuable information and understanding that is in this course. And it is something that actually me and Nick, for those of you that know Nick is a part of the community of my community, Universal Mastery, and he has a YouTube channel called The Cosmic Observer. And we partnered together and we made this course where he recorded a video, I recorded a video, and we did videos together sharing our personal experience of everything we know about this energy, Lucifer, and how to build a healthy yet powerful relationship with it. Okay. There are tons of people taking advantage of this course. Literally, people are buying it every single day. If you want to get your hands on it, definitely look into it. Now is the time. Third link below. We'll leave it there. Fourth link below is where you can become a YouTube member, and I would personally love to have you a part of the membership. It is basically like a family. And I love to have a bunch of like minded people and a bunch of familiar faces show up, whenever I'm doing these different live streams or whenever I'm doing different things. So I would absolutely love to have you as a YouTube member and see your name appear in that way where it's all green. And then you have the little badge next to your name. It kind of just shows me that you're invested in regards to the community and what it is that I teach. And then once again, it's always a beautiful thing to see other members interacting with other members, and it's just like a family. Okay. Now with all of that, there are other benefits that you gain access to with the YouTube membership. So I will leave that up to you if you are interested in that. Okay. Now the fifth link below, these are the book recommendations that I have for you. If you are someone that is starting to study my channel, you're starting to get curious about the occult, the initiations, working with different spirits, etc. The fifth link below is going to give you access to 4 ebooks instantly, and it's a bundle. So you get all these 4 ebooks in your one purchase. And in these books, there is literally everything that you need to know in a general way with a lot of potent knowledge, like important knowledge, yet digestible so you can actually understand what we're speaking about and what's going on with it. And it's going to once again give you everything you need to know along the lines of working with spirits, how you can get their sigil, what is an invocation, what is the initiatory process, the different spheres, the tree of life, the tree of death, the archetypes, the major arcana, all of these different important things that you really kind of need to know as an infrastructure to then get into deeper occultism, especially when it comes to initiations, is embedded within this 4 ebook bundle. So if this is something that you want to take advantage of, I would highly recommend it. It is that fifth link in the YouTube description. And as I said, with the other Lucifer's Foundation course, there are tons of people that have purchased this 4 ebook bundle, and people are literally buying it on a daily basis. So if this is something that you want to get your hands on, now you know where to go. It is in that fifth link below, and that is going to wrap it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.